Hello, everyone. This is Minister William, or Reverend Will, if you wish, and this is the sermon for July 2nd, 2023. And as always, we'll start with a moment of silence for prayer, meditation, or what have you. All right, thank you. Today's sermon will be called A Boy's Meeting with God. And as usual, it's on alltimeshortstories.com if you want to go read it yourself. A little boy was fascinated by God's tales, and determined to meet God. He knew it would be a long trip, so he packed his bag with some of his favorite cookies, a flask of tea, and started on his journey. He walked around 3 blocks and stopped when he saw a beautiful park. He sat on the bench beside an elderly lady. She was sitting on the bench watching some pigeons. He opened his bag, took out his cookies, and poured some tea. When he was about to sip his tea, he noticed the lady looked hungry. So he offered her his cookies and a cup of tea. She gratefully accepted and smiled at him. The boy was delighted. They sat there all afternoon, smiling and eating cookies, but never said a word. As the day went down, the boy realized he was tired and wanted to go home. So he got up to leave, but before taking more than a few steps, he turned around, ran back to the older woman, and gave her a big hug. She gave him the biggest smile ever. She gave him her biggest smile ever. The boy entered his house with a massive smile on his face. Surprised by the joy on his face, his mother asked, "What did you do today that made you so happy?" He replied, "I had lunch with God today." But before his mother could respond, he added, "And she has got the most beautiful smile I've ever seen." Meanwhile, the old woman entered her home radiant with joy. Her son, astonished by the joy and peace on his mother's face, asked, "Mother, what made you so happy today?" She replied, "I ate cookies and tea in the park with God." But before her son could give her a reply, she added, "You know, he's much younger than I expected." Too often we underestimate the power of little acts of love and care, like a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, or an honest complaint, and all of which have potential to turn a life around. I always try to preach love and acceptance, to love one another for what we have in common, instead of hating each other for what our differences are. I try to teach helping each other out, doing what you can to better this world. The littlest act of kindness can do wondrous things. And I know as of late, we've been seeing so much hate in the world. Everybody's hating everybody else for everything. And yeah, just do just by doing the little things, You can change somebody's life for the better. Don't give in to the hate that's been going around lately. Always decide to go with love. Right now, you have no idea who might need it. Remember, everyone, when we all come together, the possibilities are endless. I'll see you next week. Thank you.